And I will go into a bit more detail about that later because it's part of my later discussion. I'm going to start by actually asking you guys one question, and that is, how many of you have gone through a painful experience, whether it was physical, emotional, or mental, and used it to help someone else? That's great. So, great, I'm glad you guys have been able to help someone in your life, and if those who didn't raise your hands, that's fine as well. You most likely have and just don't know it, or you will in the future, I promise. I'm going to talk to you guys about how to do that again, and possibly maybe a little bit better, by following 3 simple steps. One is to get hurt, the second is to choose hard over easy, and the third is to become supportive. Now step 1. This one's the easiest to understand because obviously you have to feel have pain to have empathy for somebody else's pain. This one I have a personal experience for because I had an old neighbor of mine who had a lot of physical disabilities and wasn't able to interact with a lot of people. So I used to go to her house about every other day and talk to her. I had grown very fond and very close to her, and it pained me greatly when she died a year later. I was in junior high at the time, and I had a very close friend of mine who was able to help me a lot with it by coming to me and letting me talk to her and kind of relieve the pain out of the words and to just be able to be there and to express it and to kind of bleed it out. She was able to help me, I think, the most because a few months before my neighbor had died, her grandmother had passed away. And I considered my neighbor like an adopted grandmother. Now the second step is to choose hard over easy. This one, depending on the person you are and the pain you're going through, can be the most difficult. Because out of our natural instincts, we want to choose the easy path. One of my favorite poems is by Robert Frost, and he talks about a traveler who was walking this path and had come across a fork. One was obviously well used because the path was clear and there were no rocks and plants in the way. And the second one was obviously almost not used at all because it was completely covered with growth and rocks and trees and branches. And he had to choose whether to go the way everybody else had chosen, the easy way, or to choose the less chosen path, the hard way. He chose the hard way, and he was able to experience something that almost nobody else has. And therefore would be able to, if later, he could probably go and help someone through that path as well. That's why it's important to choose the hard over easy. Like Jordan had said, I was diagnosed with cancer. It was Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is actually cancer in your immune system, like leukemia. But it's in the masses in it, and it causes them to swell up. I had to go through 4 rounds of chemo and 13 of radiation to get it reduced and to come into a remission, which is where I am now. And there were many chances where I could have chosen the easy path. I couldn't take pain medicines like ibuprofen or Tylenol because it could mask a fever, which was not good because if I did have a fever, that would not be good for me because my immune system was gone and I could die from it. And so I had to take a prescription medicine called oxycodone. And that can be a very addictive medicine. I could have taken the easy way out with that by taking it constantly to get rid of the pain entirely, but also had the chance of getting addicted to it, which would cause more problems in the future. I instead chose the hard path by taking enough of it where the pain would go down, but it would still be there, but at least bearable. Another easy path I could have taken is I could have given up. I could have given up while I was going through radiation. I could have given up while I was going through chemotherapy. And I could have given up on myself, which is something you should never, ever do. Because if you do, you not only cause pain to yourself, but those around you. If I gave up, I could have given up on myself, and I could have ended up dying from it. And that would have left my parents with the thought of having a dead child. So you also have to choose the hard path for yourself and for others around you. Now the third stage, which personally for me is the most difficult, was becoming a supporter. I struggle with this one the most because I feel uncomfortable sometimes talking about my painful situations out of fear that I will sound like I am either complaining or I am bragging, which sounds weird because, I mean, why would you brag about cancer? But it's the bragging that I survived it that worries me. I was thankful to be able to go into a situation where I could, where I had a chance to express my situation in front of people, such as this, but in a smaller group. And I had started to get the fear that I again would be either sound like I was complaining or I was bragging. I was struggling with that, and I finally decided to just go up and share it. And I did. And when I finished, I sat back down, and at the end of it all, I had someone come up to me and did the best thing she possibly could have done. She thanked me. She had explained that she's going through something very difficult right now, just for her personal privacy. I won't explain what it was. But she went through something very difficult that I feel like I could never go through. And she said because of what I did, she felt like she could go through what she's going through now. And that showed me how important it is to express what I did and to be able to do it proudly and without fear of how I was sounding. Now, most of you are probably wondering why I am talking about this, because everybody goes through pain. Why should we discuss about how to handle it? Well, the reason why is because everybody does go through pain, and sometimes we think that we can't handle it all. So we need to go through pain so that we can be able to empathize with those who are going through the same thing. We need to choose the hard path over the easy path, so that we can guide those who are trying to take the hard path through it. And then we need to become a supporter, so that we can be there for them and to be able to help ourselves by helping them. Thank you for your time.